Hi guys, so for today's review video I will be using the Garden of Love collection to try to make a scrapbook page like I have been mentioning for the past couple weeks that maybe I'll start doing some scrapbooking. So thank you so much crafterscompanion.com for sending these items for my review, and that's what I'll be using here. So I did get these free of charge, and like I say, all opinions are my own. So hopefully this will be fun for you guys. I'm just going to do one 12 by 12 page layout, and then you could double it to make a second side or something similar for the other side of your, if you want a double layout. But what I do suggest, especially if you're first beginning, is look for scrapbook sketches, scrapbook page sketches. So back in the day, we didn't really have these. We just kind of had to make it up on our own, and then we end up, always doing the same page kind of thing, or just really basic, or just starting to get kind of boring. So what you do is I just looked up 12 by 12 scrapbook sketch, or 12 by 12 page scrapbook sketch, however you want. And I just like to click on like images. And I saw one that I think would work because of the idea I already had in my head. So I think this will be really good. So what I'm going to do is try this one out right here. This one I thought was really cute. It says it's from homeketers.com. I don't know, 10 scrapbook sketches to start your something or other. But I'm going to do it the opposite way like this. So that's what's good about sketches. You can turn it any way and it should still work nicely if it's a good sketch. So I do want to do some of these strips in the background, maybe some of these little pieces behind the photo itself. So what I'm going to do is get some paper, get some other items from Garden of Love, cut out already, because obviously, if I'm going to cut these pieces, I'm just going to tell you the size. Just use whatever paper trimmer you have, and we'll go from there. We'll build up a page. Okay guys, so I kind of cut the pieces the way I want them and kind of have an idea of what I want to do. So let me move these things to the side and we'll talk about the layers as we go up from the base. Okay, so I have my 12 by 12. I know it might be hard to see because I think if I back up anymore, I'm going to get the tripod in the, that tripod right here? Yep, there's a little piece of it. And that drives me nuts. So I can just move this down and up as I need. So what I did was I took 3 different patterns and I cut 1 3/4 inch strips. So like this is the pretty kind of whitewashed kind of wood with the little flowers. So I got 2 of those. They're 1 3/4 inch by 12. So I have one at the top and one at the bottom down here. And then I cut some of the gold foil dot pattern. Again, 1 3/4 by 12. Both of them. There's the other one down here. And then I have, let me move this up just a little bit. That way you get a little bit at the top, a little bit at the bottom. Maybe you don't even get that, but okay. Like I said, we'll just move it up and down. And this middle one just has some of the pretty flowers. They kind of reminiscent of the whitewash one with some dots. Now, these are 1 3/4 inch strips because I was like, if I do 2 inch strips, there's only going to be 2 inches left over for spacing, right? Because 2 inches times 5 strips, that's 10. So I was like, that's too tight. It felt too tight to me. So, so 1 3/4 kind of allows almost 1/2 inch sections in between each strip. So however you want to do it, I'm pretty much eyeballing it. At the very top and at the very bottom, it's gonna be less than 1/2 inch. Let me see. It's about, no, actually that's about 1/2 inch. So from the top one to the first strip and from the bottom to the first strip, I'm gonna do 1/2 inch just because I can see that one and I can see that that's gonna be pretty good. So I'm just gonna take my glue. I would use a tape pen, but I want to be able to move this around. If let's say I put this down and I didn't want it to be just a little 1/2 inch, maybe I needed some more, just a little bit of maneuverability. But also if I didn't put it down straight. So I'm gonna use a wet glue to see that. But this one's not going to give you too long a time to do that, but yeah, I'll just do it as I go along. And the next one from there is just a little bit more than 1/2 inch. I'm kind of making it so that they're exactly, it just looks nice. So if you have like a bigger space here, make sure to have that bigger space at the bottom one in between the 4th and the last one, just so it looks the same. Like that's what you were going for, instead of just kind of like, oh, I'm just eyeballing this, right? So like the next thing you might want to do is like line up this one in the middle. But I already kind of eyeballed this, and this one's a little bit bigger than 1/2 inch from the next one. But I like the way that looks, and again, I'm going to parallel that, or mirror that on the bottom strip. And you can distress these if you want to make them pop more. To me, it's just kind of a design element. It's not supposed to be like, oh, look, all those papers in the background, So I'm going to stick that one down, and this one like here. So if there's a bigger space between these than the others, just so that they're looks nice. That's all I'm looking for right now. Now if you want to do the math, go ahead, but I think my problem was it was going to be like 5/8, some weird numbers that I didn't really want to break down. So I was like, you know what, at this point we'll eyeball it. I think that's a better proposition than telling you to make sure it's, well, you know, 5/16 from the next one. Like, that's not good. Yeah, because then this can go here. Move this down a little bit more. Okay. So I'm going to put these last two in place, which again, trying to keep the same distancing or separation between them as I did previously. There. That looks pretty good. And then way down here, I should do 1/2 inch for the bottom. Okay. So I'm going to stick this one down and give it a second to dry, and then we'll move on to the next layers. Okay, so the next thing in our sketch, what did we say, I have all the papers down, was to put some little strips or something, I don't know what they have in the image, behind our focal point. So I did get some of that Vellum pack right here. And it's 8.5 by 11 long, so I'm going to do a little hack because I do like the Vellum and I want it to be the piece that I'll show you that goes all the way down in our image. Let me show you here. So all I'm going to do is probably cut it in half, or just cut it so I can bring it from the top to the bottom, and then cut this strip of paper a little bit smaller. But I'll show you real quick the sketch. Alright, so there's one piece that goes all the way across, all the way down. And then there's another one that's a little bit shorter. And then there's like this weird little dotty, I don't know what that is, if it's supposed to be washi or something. It looks like it's on top, but that's just, I'm not even gonna, I'm just gonna ignore that for now. So we're gonna do that, but before I start cutting them and sticking them down, I want to do our embossing folder. So this is the embossing folder from the Garden of Love. I know it was out of stock on Crafter's Companion. I think I saw it yesterday in stock, so hopefully you guys can grab that if you didn't buy the whole kit. So it's a 5x7 folder, it says, but I cut this piece of paper a little bit smaller than 5x7, and it's just a little bit, so it might be that my cutter, my trimmer, you know, missed 1/8 of an inch there, so that's fine. But what we're gonna do is 3D emboss this, and I want to make sure. Okay, so again, Sarah's signature or signature collection is on the back. That's where it pushes up from, okay, and you want it to push up into your paper. So my foil paper is going to be here, or metallic paper, matte metallic, pushing up into it. So no name here. Make sure your pretty side of your paper is facing up that way. And I believe for the 3D embossing folders, I only use the plastic, you know, your cutting plate and then the plastic shim, but sometimes it doesn't go all the way through or doesn't do it too well, so then I think I add the metal shim, but I don't remember. So let me run this through and see what it looks like. And this seemed to run through very easily, so hopefully, yeah, I think I need a little bit more, but I also need to make sure this didn't move or else it's gonna look not too great. You can also add some paper shims, but I'm gonna do the metal. And then the plastic shim again. And let's see how we do here. Because that's a little bit thinner than doing 2 cutting plates, but a little bit thicker than just the plastic plate and the cutting plate. Whoopsie. I have my heat gun still plugged in right here for some reason and it was gonna fall. Okay. Okay, that's better. Better. And you can add paper as shims too. I think I probably could have gotten a little bit more, but I'm just gonna leave it at that. Oh, by the way, allergy season's kicking in. Isn't that wonderful to make you feel paranoid? So I'm gonna do here. Let me put this to the side. Yeah, yesterday I was waking up with like a little cough and I'm like, nope, no. And then and the day before that, you know, I was having kind of allergy type reactions. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take my allergy medicine, and if it doesn't get better, then okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on myself here, take my temperature every few hours, and no, I'm fine. And then yeah, sure enough, I took my Benadryl and I stopped having any kind of allergy related issues. So I'm like, okay, perfect. That's all I needed to know. I'm trying to find my my X-Acto type thing. Let me grab one of those here. Well, this is not my favorite one, but let me see. I can't even get it out of here. Hold on. Okay, so I just went down to my glass mat, because what I'm going to do is take a cutting tool, and I'm sorry about the lighting because the paper makes it feel kind of wonky, and I'm just going to start somewhere like up here, and I'm going to try and cut just near this stuff. And it doesn't have to be exactly where it is. I'm not trying to be super perfect. I just want to make an opening because basically we're going to slide our picture in there. So I hope that makes sense. I'm going to slide our image into this little pocket that we're creating right now. So I mean, you can get as fancy with it as you like. I am probably going to cut out one of the flowers, and when I get there I'll show you. I'm trying to stay close to the edges of the flowers. Let me make sure I'm cutting through. Okay, perfect. I haven't used this knife ever. It's from the Paper Studio, which is Hobby Lobby. So I'm going to trim away this guy. Trim him out just to give me more area to show my picture off. So I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to come down this way, and I'm going to get as close as I can, and I'm going to come down through here so that this rosebud, or the bud, is out of the area. Down here, I think probably all the way down here. You want to be careful, make sure you have a nice sharp blade so you don't hurt yourself if it happens to slip. I'll go a little bit further than this one. And then we're going to probably adjust it once I get the picture going because I'm not sure exactly where I need to stop here. Okay. So hopefully you see that opens up. And then I have this little picture I took. This is the oldest picture in the world. I was like, I told you guys I haven't printed. I have thousands of pictures printed. I have thousands of pictures, probably more than that, on my SD cards that I have never printed, or you know, those kind of cards. But I want to see how big this needs to be so this can fit in here. Yeah, so I need a little bit more on this side. I thought so, but so I'm gonna come back around this flower, just so that the picture. I'm probably gonna trim the picture down so I can bring it up a little bit. Obviously, I don't want Diego cut out too much. This is Diego, and this is Dorian. When he was little, he was so fat. They were both super chubby, but Dorian was huge. I'm telling you, the doctor was like, that's the biggest baby I've ever taken care of. And then he had like rolls, and they looked like he had a problem. All right, let's see. That's probably okay, even though Diego's face. So I'm going to trim my picture down a little bit, and I'll be right back. Okay, so that is much better. As you can see, I have the same kind of spacing between there, and I like that. So what I'm going to do is, just so this doesn't move too much on me, real quick, I'm going to put a little bit of glue. Let me turn this over. I'll put a little glue on this back side, just a little bit. And when I turn it back over, I'll be able to slide the picture in where I want it. Like about there. And then I'm going to trim away this excess piece. So I'm going to let it dry just a little bit because I don't want this to move around too much on me. And I will be right back. Okay, I think I let that dry for sufficient time just to cut it. These are slick surfaces, both of them, so it's a little bit longer to wait for the glue to kind of settle in. And I'm just going to trim off some of the excess from the paper. So that's all I'm looking to do right now. Let's see. That's not bad. And even some off the side because I don't want that extra bit. That's pretty good. So I'm happy with that. So now we're almost there. Come on. Bring our paper back, and then we'll kind of see what we want to do to settle this stuff down and finish up the layout. So I did want this like in here, and what I was saying about these guys, I'm going to cut it. It doesn't really matter where. And then as you can see, this part got bent, so I'm just going to, well, actually, if I'm going to switch it up, I need to cut straight. So this way, this will look like it's the length of the paper, like in the sketch. even though there's a break in the middle, but no one knows that because we're going to cover it up, right? And then I have this guy. So this one I believe I cut as long as it is to 1 1/4 inch wide. And this one is 1 inch wide. And I'm not going to leave it the whole length. I'm going to cut this down too, but like maybe to right here. I'm just cutting a little bit off of that. It, you know, I'm just eyeballing it, whatever you like. And then I'm going to make this one, you can just leave it straight, but I'm going to kind of give it a dovetail just to make it a little bit different, stand out. And that one's going to be like here. And then this is going to be on top. Something like that. I think that's pretty good. I did want to put a piece of ribbon in here, but I'm trying to see if that's something that'll work. Maybe the green, just to do something different. Okay, fine. We'll do it. And on this one, I'm going to go ahead and double tail this too. Usually I fold my ribbon, I'll bend it, and then just cut into the corner, but I'm just going to eyeball it this time. And I am going to seal this with a little flame so that it doesn't unravel on us really quickly. So just this top. Oop. Okay, something like that. And at the very top, same thing. I always have a lighter in here, so that's why it's easy for me to just go and grab it. I'm trying to see where I want to put this one. So all the way up. This one's here. That seems good to me. Alright, so I'm going to put this to the side. I'm going to pull this to the side and try to remember where it was. And we're going to glue down our vellum. So with this one, I don't mind how much I put over here because it's going to be covered up. But at the very top, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue, a little dab. Okay. And then down here again, however much. And I'm lining it up with the bottom of the paper so that the gold will go all the way down from the bottom up, okay? And then this guy was kind of in here. And I don't know if I want to stick this the whole way down or if I'm going to curl the tip a little bit just because it's there, but also obviously it's going to be in a scrapbook, so it's going to flatten out. So if this was like a card, I would definitely curl the very tips down here, but I'll show you what that looks like. And then we're going to put this guy in somewhere. I'm just going to put the glue down and just put this where I feel like. Something like that. Alright. Now I'm thinking, should we pop dot this? Let's give it a little dimension. So what happens is in a scrapbook, obviously it's flat. People start doing some crazy stuff where you layer it up, or you put like little areas that are going to be, you cut open like the sleeve and you make like a little pull tag, or at the very top you have like a little pull tag, something like that. But I'm going to keep it pretty simple. And then I think usually you have a title, which is like a die cut sentiment or something like that, or where you're going to put your little writing about that day. Like this was in Monterey before we moved there, which is kind of funny. We used to always like vacationing there, and then the military had my husband go to the Naval Postgraduate School out there. He got his master's degree and he got his MBA there. So we loved it, but it was funny because we used to love visiting, but when we moved there, oh my gosh, it's so cold. It's always cold in Monterey. And if the sun is like not covered by, it's always 60 something degrees, right? So if the sun is being covered up by clouds, it's freezing. But if the sun isn't being covered by the clouds, it's still 60 something degrees. It feels so hot. So it's just a funny place because it's coastal, I guess. It has its little issues there. Okay, so I'm just going to put this wherever I think I feel like putting it, which is kind of in the middle. I'm kind of eyeballing if this is even straight. I need to straighten this a little bit. Okay, so I have plenty of little adhesives on there just to give it a little dimension. And so that's basically the page. What I want to do is make like little sentiments. So let me think about what I want to cut out. I was thinking about this everlasting love, but I don't know where to put it. Like if I cut out right here, I just don't know. So let me think about this. Okay, I'm gonna put this to the side for now. You know what? I am just gonna take a wild guess what year this was, because Dorian looks like he's less than a year old, and he was born in 2009. So let's say we knew the date. Let's say, because we always go out there in January, so it was probably January 2010. All right, so January 2010. Let me get my stamping block. I don't know where stamping block is right now, so I'll use this one. I'll use this rocket block. And I'm gonna just do a date stamp, because obviously we do journaling normally, so I thought, you know what, let's do that. So this is the Monogrammed Frames, and it has all these numbers and months and all kinds of stuff. So I am going to use that. And it does have some pretty little frames, so I'm wondering if I should just do one of the frames as a tag and then do like January. We can try it. Why not? Okay, so I'll use this round one. And I don't know how I'm going to color this in, so let's say I'm going to use, maybe I won't even color it in, we don't know. But if I do, I'm going to have to use my Spectrum Noirs because I have this alcohol-proof dye ink in front of me, so I'm going to use that. Really get this thing inked up, just make sure I have it everywhere, and get it on here, starting at the back to the front. Rock a block, there you go. Oopsie. So I'm gonna put this back, and then I'm gonna get a smaller stamper because the January thing doesn't need that big, huge rock a block. So we have January. And let me see what my number is. January 2010 is what I said, right? So let me do 201, and then I'll have to come back with the second 0. I just want to see how I want to put this on here. January 2010. Or maybe I'll put that up there and then down here. Yeah, sure, why not? Okay, I'm just totally making this up right at this point because I wasn't sure what I was going to do here. Stamping block. I'm going to pick this all up at once. Get it stamped. And then I will finish up with the other 0. Oopsie. And the numbers do have these cute little swirly things, so make sure you're putting them in the right direction. Aw, that's so sweet. So let me think about coloring this in and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to use just these 2 colors and kind of color some in. I haven't used this one before, Dull Green blend in the Tri-Blend, and then this is Pale Pink. So I'm just going to go in always with the light first, and like I'm just going to give it a little bit of color, so I'm just going to kind of do this whole rose. Just to add a little something. I'm not trying to be perfect here, and this is the mid color, like seriously I'm just throwing it in wherever. Not a big deal. And then dark, trying to get it in wherever there's like a little crease in the rose here. This is a really pretty color. And then I'm going to come back in with a lighter color, and I'm telling you, this is nothing here. I'm just kind of laying down some color. And I'll do the same thing for this little guy. So same thing, and then the leaves are going to be exactly the same. I'll do like the light green, mid green, dark green, and then shade it all back out with the light green again. So you have dark. And you can always come in with more dark later, because right now it's mostly the light pink that's taken over there. And then the lightest color. Okay, and there's some buds over here. These might be different kind of flowers, so I might pick a different color to do those, but again, on the leaves, we do our light green, and then the mid, a little bit of dark, and then blend it back out with the light green. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, I'm pretty much done with that. I used to have a stamp, and I probably would find it if it's if I spent more time looking for it here. But it's a journaling stamp, and basically it just made lines. But since I don't have that, I thought I'll just make my own little lines and try to make them look kind of cute. Like they don't have to be perfect, and kind of do something fun like this, so that I can write in there a little sentiment or whatever. And you can use a ruler if you need, obviously. I'm just kind of making this up as I go along. So hope all you guys are all doing well out there. I think that's as much as I want to put. If I do another line, well, maybe another little one. I'm getting used to our new norm here. All right, there we go. And so all I'm gonna do is fussy cut this. So I'm just gonna take my little scissors here and just cut around it. Leaving maybe a little bit of, you just cut it square. I mean, it's not a big deal, but I'm just going to kind of cut around. Again, always getting pressure on your scissors and moving the paper with your opposite hand gives you the smoothest transitions and cuts. So I'm just putting pressure with my right hand and moving the paper with my left hand. So I will be back once I get this cut out. Okay, so let's bring this back, and I think that's all. I'm not going to put a title. I know that you should put a title. I don't feel like it. So what I'm going to do is just put this here as a little journaling tag. I mean, you can go wherever you like. I feel like this already has enough over here. Maybe just there. Sounds good. Looks good. So if you did want to put a title, I would definitely die cut something, put it maybe up in this top corner, put it down in this bottom, you know, wherever. But I feel like this has enough. And especially if you're doing a 2-page spread and you just want to make this same page, double it. And I would put the other page right next to it and then make sure these are all lined up the same so that they extend out. And then maybe on that side, you know, have a couple of pictures with a little bit of a matting on it. And maybe have the title on that side, because I feel like this is nice. I like the way it looks right now, so I'm not going to do that. And of course you go to fill out your tag, but for now all I'm going to do is stick it down. So I hope you guys like this. A different way to use this kit. I was really excited actually when I saw the dates. I was like, oh, that's perfect, because I was like, what else do they have as far as stamps, you know? And of course all of them are kind of a little more wedding related or that kind of love, you know? So I was like, this will work. This is really cute. So, I mean, even Everlasting Love, I would like to, that doesn't bother me if I put that somewhere here or there. But anyhow, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you want to see more scrapbook tutorials. We can do a lot more with it. This is a very basic layout that I think came together really nicely. A lot of texture, a lot of different, you know, things going on. And again, thanks Crafter's Companion for sending the Garden of Love kit for my review. And I will have links as they are available down in the description box. And I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye now.